Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video in Fire Emblem Heroes. Tonight, we're going to be getting a new Heroes banner trailer revealing the next set of units that are going to be introduced into the regular pool in just a couple of days. Should be on the 10th. So, I'm not even gonna venture a guess. I believe I'm on like a 5-banner losing streak here in terms of guessing what the unit is going to be. But it would be nice to see, I guess, some representation from Valencia, since we haven't gotten any representation since Duma came around as a legendary hero. We didn't get anything introduced into the regular pool, and there's a lot of characters to choose from there. So let's hop in together, see what they have to offer us this time around. Okay, not looking at the title, let us play. Alright, get this trailer started, see what we've got here. Oh, wow, okay. New heroes join the battle. We're getting more beast unit. Friend of Nations. Ranulph. Okay, cavalry. So he's going to be a cavalry. Covet Cat Fang. Rally attack defense. Chill attack. 3 ward beasts. Oh, I love the sprite. We haven't gotten a feline just yet. Okay, Gallia's Valkyrie. Lethe. Okay, so we're red cavalry. Brazen Cat Fang. Moonbow, speed defense, solo 3, hone beasts. Yeah, so we are gonna get all of the beast buffing abilities. So this is gonna be all beasts. Kindhearted Tiger. Mordecai. Very beefy. Sabertooth Fang, Smite, Attack Defense Link 3, Beast Experience 3. Oh wow, that's awesome. His sprite is amazing. And Gallia's Lion King. Caineghiss. Alright. Lion King Fang. Oh wow, so he's fully decked out. And we're gonna get Distant Defense 4. I didn't see what the stat boost was, but yeah. So that is the next tier 4 skill. Realm of the Dead is the new story chapter that's going to be introduced. Let's see if there's anybody on this map that we should be aware of. Nope, nobody in particular. At least it didn't look like it. So that's going to be it. Out of Gallia is the name of the banner, starting on the 10th of April, and it's going to be... I don't know how long it's going to be going. I think it's scheduled to go all month, but I can't be certain about that. Looks like they are keeping it to the one color, one unit per focus color. So every color is represented as a focus unit, which is pretty nice. Now, I believe this is the first banner that will feature the new summon pool, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of the older Gen 1 Pity Breakers are not going to be pullable in that non-focus 3% rate, which... personally, I find to be a blessing if you're going for these units, and really any sort of new fodder and beast units. We're getting a full beast banner, which is kind of the trend. We've gotten a lot of full beast banners recently, and this one continues that trend. So naturally, being a 4-person banner, each of these units has a 0.75% chance of appearing in each stone when entering a summon circle. Alright, well, let's rewind, take another look at these characters, do a play-by-play of each of their skills, and see kind of how they fit into the current meta, as well as what they offer us as far as fodder. So let's start things over again, and play. Alright. Alright, new heroes joined the battle. I didn't see if the last two were cavalry or not. So Ranulph is going to be a green cavalry beast. Looks pretty cool. Alright, let's pause here, take a look at his skills. So Covert Cat Fang is going to be his legendary weapon, his own personal weapon. Might 14 grants defense plus 3. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense plus 3 to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit during combat. Not bad. Okay, so... as long as he's within 2 spaces of an ally, which is a very, very easy condition to meet, then he himself gets plus 3 to defense and attack, and he also grants that as sort of a goad or drive effect. Not bad. And then additionally, at start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast or dragon allies, or if unit is not adjacent to any ally, unit transforms, right? That's so the beast condition for transformation, otherwise unit reverts. If unit transforms, grants attack +2, and if unit initiates combat, grants attack defense -4 on foe during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So in line with all of the other beast units, you have condition after condition after condition, and then they just kind of heap on the stat bonuses. So he gets defense +3 at the start, no condition. First condition being within two spaces of an ally, which is easy to meet. He gets attack and defense +3. If he is not next to directly adjacent to an ally, which is, again, relatively easy to meet. If he's going to be next to a beast or next to a dragon, if you're running all beasts, obviously this is going to be an incredibly easy condition to meet. But regardless, this will grant him the transformation, which will grant him an additional +2 to his attack. So we're talking about, at this point, assuming all bonuses intact, so +5 to his attack and then +6 to defense. And then if he initiates, minus attack and defense -4 during combat as an in-combat debuff to his opponent, which is essentially, if in melee range, there are exceptions, of course, like dragons, for example, close counter mages, but in most cases, if he's going to be initiating against somebody, they're going to be using or hitting his defense stat. So minus attack defense 4 against an enemy unit when initiating against them is more or less plus +4 attack and defense for Ranulf. So really what we're looking at then is almost basically a +10 to defense and +9 to attack, more or less when he initiates on an enemy, and he has all of those conditions met. And additionally, the foe cannot make a follow-up attack, so it kind of has the wary fighter breaker effect against the enemy unit. It doesn't force a double on his part, but it does prevent the double against him, which is potent. So that's a lot of tacked on skills, and it's interesting because it also expands into him being having a support role as well. It gives him the ability to provide his allies with a ward buff or a drive buff of attack and defense 3, which also synergizes with the fact that he comes with ward beasts. So ward beasts obviously giving a defense and res +4 to beast allies within 2 spaces during combat. So he's going to be a pretty solid buffer on a beast team, and he's going to have just a plethora of attack and defensive stats to make him pretty tanky and powerful on player phase when he initiates, as long as his conditions are met. Rally attack defense plus grants attack and defense +6 to target ally for 1 turn. The rally skills, we're seeing more rally usage in ether raids, for example. I mean, obviously, rallies were used very often in Arena for scoring purposes just because they are high SP assists, right? But really, that was the only use for them. In most cases, everybody would gravitate towards positioning assists just because they're much, much better and much more useful. In ether raids, more recently, we're seeing more rallies used for rally traps and things like that, forcing an initiation or forcing a teleport rally so that a unit gets danced, and for all kinds of just different movement shenanigans on ether raid defense. So we are seeing more rallies in general. Although I think the area of effect rallies are probably, in my opinion, better than these kind of dual rallies. But Chill Attack 3, chill skills for the B slots are excellent skills for any unit that is not dependent on the B skill. B being a very competitive skill slot, but if there is a unit with a stat line doesn't really rely on that too much, the chill skills are excellent skills. And that kind of falls in line with Ranulph being kind of more of a support role, or at least a partial support role, because the chill skills really do finesse the ability for the rest of the team to take advantage of the debuffs, since it is a map-wide debuff. So all in all, pretty powerful kit, and honestly, I feel like he fits really well on any beast team. I mean, he can make any beast team better just by nature of the skills that he has available to him natively. And seems like he'll be pretty potent and pretty tanky on offense. So let's keep going. Yeah, I do like his animal form. He looks cool. Yeah, and he is a green beast. Okay, so Gallia's Valkyrie. Lethe. That Kaya 8 art. She looks pretty cute. So we got a red cavalry beast unit. She's comes with Brazen Cat Fang, so a 14 might weapon, similar to Ranulph in that respect. But her weapon grants her weapon grants speed +3. If unit is not adjacent to an ally, grants attack speed +6 during combat. Wow, okay, so she kind of has a solo effect on her. The solo skills we see more often, and in fact, she if we take a little peek down there, she comes with a solo skill in her A slot, but she has a solo skill built into her Brazen Cat Fang. So if she is not adjacent to an ally, she gets her own attack and speed buff +6 during combat. Which is pretty darn good. Attack and speed are definitely stats that you want boosted on offense. At the start of the turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast, so the beast condition is the next thing for transformation purposes. And when she transforms, she gets an additional attack +2, and if she initiates combat, she inflicts attack defense -4 on foe during combat, and the foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. But more or less what we're looking at is she comes with speed +3. She gets her own attack speed solo skill built into her weapon, which obviously synergizes with her A slot, which is speed defense solo 3. If she's not adjacent to any ally, she gets speed and defense +6 during combat. So that means that if she's by herself, she gets a total of +12 speed, just by nature of that condition being met alone. And then, of course, her weapon gives her a native +3 speed without any condition. And then once she transforms, she gets attack +2, which is fine. That's whatever. And then she gets an attack defense -4 on her foe as an in-combat debuff, which, again, just as we talked about with Ranulph, essentially that means that she gets a plus attack plus defense +4. More or less is what it's going to be in most cases. So by herself, she is absolutely deadly and gets a ton of speed boosts in particular, it looks like. And she gets defensive buffs. If she keeps her native A slot, and we assume that she's going to keep it because it synergizes with her weapon, she's going to get a total of +12 and then a native +3. So she's going to get +15 to her speed. She's going to get 8... +12 to her attack, basically, and then +4 to her defense. So yeah, that's a lot of self-stacking buffs. She's not a good support unit by any stretch of the imagination, but she is an absolute beast, a powerhouse, when she's by herself. Moonbow for the special feels a little bit wasted, especially with the effect of her transformation, where she debuffs the enemy unit by 4 defense. That actually lowers the damage of her Moonbow. So I would think honestly Glimmer is probably a better choice for her, depending on what her stat line is, of course. And quite frankly, any of the other stat line boosts, or like Draconic Aura, Bonfire, I mean, depending on what really she has, she might not have a lot of defensive stats, and maybe that's why. But even so, I think that she could probably swap that out for something better. And then she comes with Hone Beasts for the C slot. Hone Beasts, the Hone skills in general, have faced a lot of adversity recently with respect to just a lot of debuffing. A lot of units have come out that just creates a debuffing or panic effect. But Hone Beasts, Hone and Fortify skills in general are still very, very powerful in the game, and those are going to see some uses as well. So let's keep going. Yeah, so she has a similar transformation. Yeah. It's nice art. Alright, so we're going to get this beastly, kind-hearted tiger. Okay, so Mordecai is a blue... Oh, so he's infantry. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's interesting to note right there. He is going to be an infantry beast unit, similar to Valoria and Keaton. So he's going to be infantry. So Saber-Tooth Fang, Might 14, Range 1, grants defense +3. So far we've gotten every one of the stats boosted. I doubt that the next unit is getting res +3, but But that would make the full gambit or round robin. Grants defense +3 if a movement assist skill like reposition, shove, pivot is used by unit or target's unit. Inflicts -4 on all stats on foes within 2 spaces of unit and target through their next action after movement. Huh. Weird. See, that's really interesting. So that means it's one of the link skills basically that's built into his weapon. And frankly, the link skills are interesting. I've said that they have their uses and they can create very, very interesting plays. But quite frankly, I don't know how I feel about it being built into a weapon. I feel like that's kind of limiting. It's a pretty severe condition to meet. Now, what this does grant, I think, is the ability to sort of... I think what this does sort of uniquely encourage is offensive repositioning and the use of shove, because honestly, shove has had extremely limited uses. I mean, it does have its uses. You can do really interesting things with shove, but in particular, shove honestly kind of takes a backseat to a lot of the other positioning skills out there. With Sabertooth Fang, and especially in conjunction with, you can already tell with his B slot, he comes with a link skill, attack defense link 3. So if a movement assist is used on him, or he uses one, that grants attack defense +6 to him, which is a great boost. That is going to be an activated boost. It's the blue numbers on his stat line, and that synergizes perfectly and stacks with the fact that he's going to debuff any units around him through their next actions. So before we get too far off the beaten path, let's finish the description for Sabertooth Fang, just so we know exactly what else it's going to be doing. Obviously, it has the Beast Transformation condition, and once that condition is met, it grants attack +2 and deals +10 damage when special triggers. Interesting, so he's going to have a Wrath effect on his weapon, or the damage of the Wrath effect on his weapon, or a Wodao effect on his weapon. So that's interesting. Especially since he doesn't come with a special. I don't know. It's pretty unique. I'll say that much. But definitely a powerful effect. So going back to what I was saying, I mean, but it looks like he's going to be a pretty tanky unit. And what one example play could be, if you have a solo skill on the A slot, is to basically shove or smite Mordecai basically into the thick of battle. And it's going to basically make him a debuffing bomb. I mean, it's going to send him into the middle of the enemy units. It's going to debuff anybody that's around him within 2 spaces. He himself is going to get an attack defense boost just from nature of the assist skill itself, from his link skill. And then from the A slot, if you have a solo skill on him, that will be activated since he won't be around any of his allies. So, I mean, I could see that being just sort of an interesting play in certain instances, and you can do different things with it. I think that his weapon is going to be very, very niche in terms of its usage and what you can do with it. His weapon does have a series of other great effects and great conditions, but I think not taking advantage of the built-in link skill would be doing a disservice to the character, and I think that the way that he's built is for, again, those specific roles. Beast Experience 3. While unit lives, all Beast allies get +2 experience. So, yeah, we've seen these before. Experience boosting skills for any Beast unit. So he'll be useful for grinding out the training tower as well as the daily maps for experience grinding and SP grinding and leveling up characters on weekends. So that skill is always useful and will be useful. It's always good to have at least one of those characters for every class in your barracks if you can manage it. So let's keep going. Take a look at Mordecai himself. I really like his saber-tooth tiger sprite. He looks so cool. Alright, so finally we've got Gallia's Lion King. Alright, blue armor. So he's an armor. Alright, let's pause here. Let's digest that for a second. So we've got an armored beast at this point. I guess we shouldn't be terribly surprised. We have an armored beast unit. Metas collide. Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen eventually. Lion King Fang, 14 might weapon, grants attack +3, so a native attack boost. That's nice. If foe initiates combat, so it sounds like he is going to be more of an enemy phase unit. If foe initiates combat, grants attack speed, defense res +4 during combat. Wow, that is, yeah, that's significant. That's basically Fury 4 on him. If an enemy initiates on him, so +4 to all stats it's a powerful effect for sure. At start of turn, if unit is adjacent to only beast, so the beast transformation condition, of course, and once he transforms, grants attack +2, and unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Okay, so he has built-in distant counter. Man, this guy is beastly. So he gets attack +3. His weapon description, make no mistake, his weapon description is large. It's not quite the paragraph that the other beast units have had, but all of the effects that he has are very powerful. So attack +3 built in, always a good thing. He basically gets a +4 to all of his stats as long as he's enemy phasing, and as long as he's transformed, he has attack +2, and he has built-in distant counter. Those are really, really powerful effects, all of them. And that just makes him an absolute enemy phase monster. He's an armor, so he has access to fighter skills as well. You can make him mixed phase. Obviously, it looks like, he gets a ton of bonuses on enemy phase, but if you wanted to, I can already tell that he has Vengeful Fighter 3 on his B slot, but if you wanted to, you could make him an offensive powerhouse as well, and then kind of mix it up and add Quick Riposte to his seal or anything like that. But it does sound like he is kind of built to be an enemy phase monster, and yeah, that's really no surprise. Okay, well, let's take a look at the rest of his skills. Bonfire for the special. Distant Defense 4. If foe initiates combat, uses a ranged weapon, grants defense and res +8, and neutralizes foes' bonuses. Oh, wow. Are you serious? I mean, Distant Defense was already a really powerful skill. I don't know if it needed another effect on it, to be completely honest. I know that they're in the interest of kind of not only boosting kind of the effect in the tier 4, but also adding in an additional skill, basically, building it in. And to be fair, the null skills for the Fortify Rally weren't used very often. I thought they were actually pretty decent, but I know that a lot of people really thought they were pretty lackluster, and I don't think they saw much use. Intelligence systems probably saw that they didn't see much use and kind of have started building that effect into other skills. So Distant Defense 4 not only has a boost in the defense and res of the unit when they are tanking an attack from a ranged unit, they are also going to nullify any of the Fortify and Rally skills. I mean, that's a powerful effect. It basically nullifies Blade Tome effects, which would be one threat against him, and it seems as though, he is granted the ability to nullify those, which just increases his tanking ability, which again increases his ability to be an enemy phase distant monster. Very powerful. Distant Defense 4 is an incredibly powerful skill, and I don't know if it necessarily needed that additional effect, because it's kind of beastly. Vengeful Fighter for the B slot. That's a natural choice for an enemy phase tank, an enemy phase armor. Vengeful Fighter will essentially guarantee him a follow-up attack, also give him minus to his cooldown. Again, it's a natural choice. I could also see people swapping in Wary Fighter here, because frankly, this guy is going to be able to tank everything under the sun, and not reducing the enemy's ability to double him. So it prevents those doubles, prevents the risk of him dying. Obviously, he wants to be able to double on enemy phase, which just means he can use a Quick Riposte seal instead. He won't get that additional cooldown charge, but being able to tank additional attacks is probably worth it in certain game modes like Ether Raids, for example. And then we've got Distant Guard 3 for the C slot. Allies within 2 spaces gain, if foe uses bow, dagger, ranged weapon, grants defense res +4 during combat. So that's not a self buff. It's only a buff to allies around him, a sort of a drive effect, and it's basically a distant defense drive effect. So not only will he be able to tank a bunch of hits, but he's also going to be able to support the rest of his allies and give them defensive bonuses at the same time. I could see this guy being great on defensive Ether Raids, depending on the setup, and kind of positioning him in a place where, you know, he can't be tanked or can't be baited. But yeah, I can see a lot of uses for him, and his weapon is phenomenal, and distant defense 4 is phenomenal. I definitely think that he is probably going to be the target for a lot of people, at least as far as skills are concerned. I think he brings a lot to the table. So let's keep going. Me personally, I don't really use armors all that much, so he has a really cool sprite. I love the lion. Yeah. And then he's going to get the wrath effect there. Actually, let's back that up, because we can probably calculate what his defensive stat is then, based upon his... Okay, so we're looking at 59. Okay, 48, and I'm backing up to make sure that this was on enemy phase as well. So since it was on enemy phase, he basically got an additional 4 to his defense, basically, because of the effect on his weapon. Because of that, we would subtract 4 from the 48 defense that we have, so he has 44 defense. 44 defense... so he has 44 defense, and then distant defense 4 naturally also came into play. So we're going to subtract 8 from that, so then he has 36 defense, and I think that that's it. So it seems like it's likely that he has 36 defense, which is, I mean, that's respectable. It's definitely respectable. It's not outrageous. We've seen higher stats on armors as of late, just because the defensive stat boosts and the defensive stat lines have just kind of gotten crazy. But 36 is still strong, and if some of those stats that would have gone into his defense instead went into his res, honestly, I think that would be great for him, because if he's going to be tanking all of these ranged units, he wants that res, he wants that additional resistance to be able to tank those hits from afar and make him more of a mixed defense unit, rather than having kind of all of his eggs in one basket. So let's keep going. Cool voice. I like his voice. Alright, so Realm of the Dead, we're going to be progressing into the story. And no real surprises on the map that we can see. Nothing crazy there. Okay, so first impressions, I think Caineghiss is going to be the star of the show here. I actually didn't even notice he was colorless. I thought he was blue for some reason. So he actually doesn't suffer from any triangle disadvantage except from Raven Tomes. We'll have to see it with his stat line, kind of how that fares out. But, I mean, honestly, he just has a lot going for him. His weapon is absolutely amazing, and he comes with a lot of rare skills, new skills, in fact, that we haven't seen before. Ranulph, I think, is a great unit as well, a great beast unit, could find his home basically on any beast team and support it extremely well, and kind of tear things up on his own. Lethe is a monster on solo. When she runs in and tears things up, she'll make a dent in the battlefield, that's for sure. And we have Mordecai with a very unique set, and I don't know how I feel about it necessarily, but I think it's very unique and interesting, and I like that. I like intelligence systems not just throwing in a million powerful skills and instead creating new and different things and different utility for characters, and I definitely want to see that going forward, and you know, units like Mordecai are good in that respect. As far as potential demotes, I would say that maybe Mordecai. I mean, Mordecai comes with beast experience, and Mordecai comes with a link skill, but besides that, he doesn't come with anything premium. So I'm thinking Mordecai could probably drop down. Lethe comes with a solo skill and Hone Beast, so I really don't think she's going to be dropping down. They could surprise us, but I personally don't think she's going to be dropping down. Ranulph comes with Dual Rally Plus, and he also comes with Chill Attack. They have made the chill skills more accessible recently with some of the free units that they've released, but besides that, I mean, they're still premium skills, so I don't really know if they're going to be dropping him either. So if I had to guess, I would say that Mordecai is probably the greatest candidate to actually be demoted from this banner, but I also wouldn't be surprised if none of them get demoted, so... make your decisions wisely, I guess, if you're going to be going in on this banner. Me personally, I don't think I'm going to be splurging on this banner. I might be going for Lethe Ranulph, potentially. I'm not really sure. But at least I'll be doing that in the opening circle, the first free or discounted circle that we get for the summons. But I don't know if I'm really going to be going in much further than that. So let me know in the comments below if you're excited for this banner, which unit that you're going to be targeting, if you're going to be summoning on the banner. Hopefully you enjoyed coming along and watching the trailer for the first time with us. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you so much for watching and taking some time out of your day to spend with us. And until next time, let's protect those skies.